If it's time to update the look of your furniture, but you don't want to break your budget, a little TLC can give your stuff a whole new life. Interior designer Anitra Mecadon, host of the DIY Network's Megadens, is here to show us exactly how to do it from floor to ceiling. Great to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you.
All right, let's talk about a couple of buzzwords, though. Right. Sustainable furniture, I know that's something that people are talking a lot about these days. It's not necessarily buying new stuff. You can do it on a cheap.
It's a hot word in design, right? People are spending a fortune on furniture that's made out of reclaimed materials. You don't have to do that. You could do what I do on Megadens, go on a scavenger hunt through your own home. Find a cool piece that you can rescue yourself.
So it's just basically, you never know what you're going to have in storage or in the basement or the attic, so give it the once over before you go out and spend a lot of money. These little end tables here, these little nightstands, actually this one, I mean, this looks terrible. I mean, most people might say, you know what, time to throw this out, but you say don't do it.
Don't do it. I mean, it's definitely not the sexiest piece of furniture you own, but it's pretty sturdy, and it's got decent lines. So with little elbow grease and a fresh coat of paint, some new hardware, look at what you've got now.
So this is before and after here, and some of the things, obviously, to the naked eye, you see that you've got a nice paint job on there, and a couple of, I guess, a little shelving work going on in there too, huh? This is great. Now, the color, you want to do something vibrant like that, right?
I'm big on color, right? If some people are afraid to put it on the walls, don't be afraid to throw it on the furniture, okay? This is different, though. This has a high gloss automotive finish. Okay. So if you don't want to paint it yourself, take it to your auto body shop. It's super durable. It looks awesome on the furniture, and you have so many more options in auto paint than you do in regular paint.
And like we said before, a little surprise inside there too. You can kind of pull this out if you want and do something totally different, huh?
You can totally change the look of it just by removing the drawer.
Love it. It's actually great. Oh, let's talk chandeliers now, because this, when I see this, kind of boring, kind of old, a little dated.
Very dated.
So what do I do?
So for 30 bucks, you could totally change the look of this. You don't have to go out and spend hundreds or even thousands on new lighting. What you do need is you need a great metal primer and some painter's tape. Tape off all your sockets. Hit it with a few light coats of metal primer. You want it nice and even. Drips are a no-no. Okay?
So just kind of a light spray. How many coats do you think we're talking about for something like this?
Probably about 2 or 3 if you're doing it the right way. Remember, avoid the drips.
Okay, so you've got that. Now you hear this is step 2. Now this is phase 3. Now this doesn't look anything like what we started with. The color, I mean, I think I love the color.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
So we went a step further, and instead of using those traditional candelabra bulbs, we did these cool globes, right? So that piece that you didn't want to look at is now a total showstopper. It
is great. Very nice. A market improvement. Coffee tables can be traditionally pretty boring items of furniture, but you've kind of found a way of taking a pretty cheap coffee table and turning it into something pretty cool.
I found this for 40 bucks. It's got great bones. There's no reason this should ever enter the dump, right? So I refinished this by antiquing it. It's one of my favorite methods. First thing, did a light sanding. Hit it with a coat of primer. When the primer's fully dry, I did it with my top coat, which is my fun color. When that's dry, the fun happens. You take the electric sander to it and you rough it all up. Hit the edges. You really want to see the primer coming through as well as whatever the base coat is. Then when that's all said and done, I actually take a wood stain and go over the whole piece with a wood stain because it burnishes it down and gives it that really cool vintage look that people are going for.
You make this antiquing thing sound very fun.
It is.
It's not too difficult. I mean, I've never done this before, but the way you've described it right there, it doesn't sound too labor intensive.
I have faith in you. I think you can do it.
And you were talking about when you're painting and sanding to all do it kind of in the same direction. Is that true?
Go in the same direction. It just helps out the finish when you're done. You can actually see my streaking. And here's another trick. I'm giving you all my tricks, man.
It's okay.
The worse the brush is, the better the finish is.
Really?
Does that even make any sense?
It does, to be honest with you, because you want to give it that old kind of beat-up look, and that you've achieved. Some of these tchotchkes that are on top of the coffee table here, again, is this stuff you can just find around the house type things? Yeah,
I mean, we've got some old toys, broken statues. It's a great way to add some color to the space. Take those random objects out to the garage, hit them with a fun color spray paint primer, and now you've got a fresh new look, and you can change it with your moods.
Which is always great. And those are ever changing. We've got some other, I mean, you can be creative in some other ways. We have some images we want to show the folks at home of some different things, some different examples you have of just kind of being creative and doing some things that are kind of fun. Explain to me.
These are some things we've done on the show, right? This is a roofing turbine, which is a whirly vent. All we did was take a grinder to it, made sure the hole was large enough at the top for our pendant fixture to fit in. 20 minutes later, you've got an awesome light.
And how about wine barrel chairs? Got anything you can do with those?
Seriously. So everybody turns wine barrels into tables, right? We took it a step further. We took the Sawzall to it, added some plywood for the tush. Now you've got a really cool chair.
Who doesn't like to sit on plywood? And finally, this is great. Look at this, an entertainment center, and that just looks like an old locker you'd find in a high school locker room.
Okay, so 40 bucks on Craigslist. Would you believe that?
That's great.
Turned one of the lockers on their side, added the butcher block top. Now you've got an awesome spot for your TV and all the components.
Boy, you are creative, Anitra. Thanks. This is great. Really good to see you. Thanks so much for all these ideas. Super. Anitra Mecadon, Megadens. Tune it in on DIY. Now, for more advice on giving your furniture new life, you can just go to our website, earlyshow.cbsnews.com.